Hello esports fans and YouTube viewers, this is Image and I'm going to be casting set 3 of CJ vs Estro, a match played in the Shinhan Pro League on the 30th of May. And if you're noticing that I'm a little bit quieter than usual, it's not so much because your volume is messed, it's because I'm recording this from a group study room in my university library, and I'm just being a little bit quiet out of habit and politeness, which incidentally did not stop someone from interrupting me the last time I tried to cast this game right at the beginning, doing some fundraising by selling chocolate bars in the library. I thought that was pretty effing rude. Getting to the game, it's Skyhigh on the left, a Terran player for CJ Entus, and Sea.Really on the right, also a Terran player for Estro. Skyhigh has really been the backbone of the CJ team lately. He's been playing fantastically. Sea.Really, he's a mainstay of the Estro team. He's probably their main Terran at the moment, but not a very impressive player on the whole. 2-1, and away we go. His lifetime record, not so hot. He's got a lifetime victory percentage hovering around 43, whereas Skyhigh has been doing a lot better and has been on fire lately. The map, by the way, is Destination, where Skyhigh has won 80+% of the games he's played on it. So already I favor Skyhigh to win this thing, though it being StarCraft, anything is possible. That's Sea.Really in the yellow on the bottom, and Skyhigh is in the green on top. And I think Really is really the underdog going into this game, and typically the sort of maxim for these sort of situations is if you're the underdog, you should try to end the game quickly, and often with some sort of cheese rush. Two problems with that in this particular situation, and I think that also really disadvantages Really. One, this game's against Skyhigh, who has shown himself to be near invincible against any sort of cheese attempts. One need only to look at the Winners League match against Jaedong, where he defended a 5-pool pretty effortlessly, and the recent CJ vs STX match, where he fended off a proxy gateway rush from Cal. So Skyhigh pretty solid with his early game micro against any sort of cheese rushes, so Really might want to avoid doing that. And it looks like he will be avoiding doing that, as he's gone depot first, so it's not going to be any fast proxy racks, and gas and a barracks now on the way. So standard builds for both players. Skyhigh seems to have started his gas and barracks at about the same time. So it looks for the moment like Really is opting for standard play, which again might serve him better than cheese, but it's still not the ideal situation in a game against Skyhigh. So this is one of those situations where I guess you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So that's unfortunate. And Really, in spite of his 43% win rate, he's more of an inconsistent player than a really terrible one, though any game I've seen him in that's been at all memorable has ended with him getting stomped in a ridiculous way. And by that I don't mean ridiculous as in there was some crazy thing that ensued, although that has happened, but really that he was just so comprehensively outplayed. Two examples of this that I can think of off the top of my head were his game against Quanro, where he failed with a proxy 8 barracks bunker rush against a 12 hatchery because Quanro was able to fight it off with drones, and more recently a game against Dezang of Air Force Ace, who essentially demolished Really with 1 Reaver, scoring 24 SCV kills and killing about an unheard of 6 tanks. So Really not really been impressing me. So the first factories are going up, and both players are mining gas with only 1 SCV, so some command centers should follow pretty shortly, and it's going to be some 2-base-to-2 action. In the meantime, it's just some scouting going on. Skyhigh is building his command center over at his expansion, whereas it looks like Really was trying to block the ramp to keep that SCV from spotting the fact that that command center is going up right next to the ramp to be floated over. So I suppose Really was trying to fake, or at least give the impression that he might be going for a fast two-factory push, which would have had a chance of punishing Skyhigh for also expanding early. But with both players expanding early, not much of a problem for either player. Skyhigh's adding a second factory and is trying to push into Really's base with this Vulture, but tanks are out for Really already. So Destination's typically a pretty good map for massive Vulture play in Terran versus Terran. You see a lot of it. But Really has decided to just go for tanks early. Skyhigh, on the other hand, haven't seen any tanks from him yet, and the command centers are nearly completed. Skyhigh's going to get a third factory, as well as a pretty slight economic advantage just for being able to get his command center up and running maybe 10 to 15 seconds faster, because Really has to float his, though that's not, I don't think, going to make any significant impact on the course of the game. So right now the game is pretty even. It's just the sort of really interesting question is going to be how these early game tech choices affect things. So Skyhigh looks like he's going to be going early Vultures with mines, and here come those first mines now. And I think Really just missed spotting that, and that's why that tank just got knocked into the red and is probably going to be surrounded and killed by Vultures. So that sucks for Really, losing his first tank, but he's got a couple of more to try to hold these bridges, though he's going to have to be careful of the mines that are surely going to be coming. In the meantime, Really now putting out some Vultures of his own. And Skyhigh's barracks is getting an eyeful, but it seems that there's just a lot of posturing going on right now, and not a whole lot else as the players macro their armies.